just such a great time, and especially, too, with me being a relatively new member of the station, certainly new in terms of being a full-time employee here. This was just so cool.
I say what we will need to do just for the future is fan 5K.
Yeah, I think that helps. And then we could still have the 9.71K and
it's
really
part
bump
of it.
up. But the 5K thing, I mean, I think that's the...
Because we got a little stuck on, like, the 971 and, like, how to make that work. And
it was fun.
Cool.
Yeah.
But I do remember, on the lead up to this, people being like, what's 9.71? I'm like, well, it's 6 miles. And then you start getting into that whole deal.
Things.
And the fan 5K will come your way next year, and it'll be bigger.
Yeah.
I don't know how it could top this. I don't know how it could top the day that we had. But the one thing that I made sure to come out unscathed in terms of my chafing.
Oh, yes.
And I didn't have. I woke up and trying to get everything else together. I did not tape my nipples.
Hashtag save the nipples.
And
you gotta be careful.
as I was finishing up that last mile, Cole, that you were talking about, which was mostly uphill, and I did not see that coming.
Interesting point about that is that I didn't realize with the track that we were going to be retracing our steps, and so the first half when I'm like, man, running downhill is really easy. I didn't realize that there was going to be the second half where we had to go in reverse and go uphill as we're trying to eke out that 6th mile.
That is, I will say, with another race that M3S does, the OSU 4-miler, you finish on the 50. And so the last bit of it, you're running up some hill. Like, again, hills is a relative term around Columbus, Ohio. Also, when you're running, they are much better and bigger. I remember running up High Street once for one of their 5Ks or 10Ks that I did and being like, High Street is flat. Where did this hill come from? Like, I've driven this street a million times. I've driven downtown Columbus High Street. Never once did I consider it to be hilly until I ran. But, like, when you come down the last little hill into Ohio Stadium, then you get to run down the ramp onto a flat track into the stadium. That feels like you're going a million miles an hour because you're like, oh, I did all the hard stuff. Now I just run in front of all these Buckeyes who are cheering me on, and it's a pretty great event.
Yeah, and you got family in West Virginia, right? I got family in the Ohio Valley. I don't think they want to hear us talking about Columbus being dirty.
It's exactly.
Like, is it?
My buddy runs ultra marathons, and he is going to run out. He's going to run out a 100-mile race out in Colorado over the Rockies. Like, they go over 13,000 feet passes a couple times. Those are hills.
Wait,
those are hills.
So is that like 100 miles of a race? Is that like climbing Mount Everest where there are starts and stops? Or, like, there's no way he's running 100 miles straight.
You do it in 30 hours. You have 30 hours to complete it. And, you stop and get, like, some food and maybe you change your shoes or, but you don't stop you stop for maybe, like, 5 minutes. And you get a couple,
So there's no sleep involved?
No sleep. No. You got to just do it.
And this is fun?
To them, not to me.
And he pays to do this?
Pays a lot. Actually, people pay, like, coaches, and they have, like, a whole crew out there. I'm going out to, like, help him, just to be there to give him, like, I don't know, tape his blisters or whatever. But other than that, like, I'm just going to watch. I'm not going to be participating. But that's where I'm saying, like, it's relative. Hills are relative. And the hill you have in front of you on the day you're out here running, that's the biggest hill in the world. It's the biggest hill in the world for you that day. So you just got to get over it.
I would be remiss if we didn't bring up we were started with a national anthem rendition done by one Leo Welsh.
How great was that?
And that was about the coolest thing.
I didn't know that was happening until a couple weeks ago, and I thought, oh, man, that's just such a great way to start this event, too. Have Leo out there. He did the event. So, yeah, it was just all around great. Really can't say much more about that. It was an awesome event. We had a lot of fun.
I don't know what you guys' expectations were. I had no idea what to expect, but I showed up here like 35, 40 minutes early, and I'm like, holy cow. And I'm like, we got a whole lot of time left for other people to show up. I was really, really impressed, and Otterbein did a great job hosting us today as we broadcast live from the 50-yard line. I mean, guys, I can't tell you how much fun we had.
Yeah, I thought it was a great event. I had a lot of fun here, and I'm glad that it worked out as well. I'm glad that you got to experience that. A lot of other people got to see how fun these races can be.
And there was still parking space, which is good. For as many people as there were here, I didn't have to go park like 3 blocks down. Yep. The parking was very good, and that's a key variable in all this.
It's that and bathrooms, the two most important things, I think, for any event you want to have more than 10 people at. And it was crushed today by the volunteers, by M3S Sports, by the city of Westerville, by Otterbein University, by the wonderful volunteers, and by you, the listeners who came out. It was funny. I actually met some of the people that pop into the YouTube chat every day, and they introduced themselves as their handle. And I'm like,
good.
That helps me so much.
Know what? I don't even want to know the real name.
It's I like that mystique. Like I need, and they, of course, like, were running by me, go, come on, Reiser. And I'm like, I got to keep going, man.
Yeah.
I can't get embarrassed by people who will, on Monday, let me know how embarrassing it was to crush me in a 971K. But we have crushed it out here all day. You guys, this has been awesome. We're going to do just a little bit of a wrap-up out here from Westerville coming up in a couple minutes. It's Sports Saturday on The Fan.
Wake up with the Fan. Eat lunch with the Fan. Go to bed with the Fan. Dream about the Fan. Then change your sheets. Gross.
Ew, you guys are gross, but stick around in case I don't find anyone else.
The Fan.
It's your lucky day because at Speedway, there's a $5,000 winner every single day. All you do is shop with Speedy Rewards. Then play the in-app game for a chance to win $5,000 in cash. So you could win $5K today, or the next day, or the next day, or the next... Okay, you get it. New daily cash winners only at Speedway. Are you next? No purchase necessary. Ends 1/6/26 USDC 16 plus. For official rules and free gameplay, go to 5k-a-day.com/rules.
That's are us. When dreams sunk in, that's are us.
Right now, get $1,500 off a shower or tub replacement or $3,000 off a full bathroom remodel, plus low to no monthly payments. Call 380-225-BATH to schedule your free estimate or go to bathsareus.com. 380-225-BATH.
That's are us. When dreams sunk in, that's are us.
Hey there, friends. Bo Bishop here. Spring weather has arrived, and we all know what that brings. Warmer weather and severe storms. Well, when bad weather hits, we all know it can cause leaky roofs or even damage to your siding and gutters. The Roofing Guys are your local experts in roofing, siding, and gutters and more, providing top quality through every roof, every time. So it's just a small repair, full replacement, or even peace of mind. You need to contact my guys, the Roofing Guys, 614-626-7000, or visit them at theroofingguys.com. That's theroofingguys.com.
Let's be honest, we could all use a little vacation from the ordinary. But with Tim Hortons' new refreshers, you don't need to pack your bags. Just sip, relax, and enjoy your refreshing 16-ounce vacation. With tropical mango packed with real pineapple and mango pieces. And strawberry watermelon kiwi featuring real pieces of strawberry and kiwi. Also, try it with lemonade or coconut milk. A choose-your-own taste bud adventure. Head to Tim's for the new refreshers. Your 16-ounce vacation awaits. Only at your neighborhood Tim Hortons. At participating U.S. restaurants.
1877 Cars for Kids. K-A-R-S Cars for Kids. 1877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Donate today at carsforkids.org. That's cars with a K. Your car can be picked up as soon as the next day. Receive a tax deduction and vacation voucher.
1877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Now accepting donations of land, homes, buildings, or any kind of real estate.
What John Smiley, Chairman and CEO, wants you to know about First Bank of Central Ohio.
Our competitive advantage is the number of years we've been in Central Ohio and the fact that we're able to make decisions here locally that make sense for the client. At the end of the day, it's the ability for us to say, okay, what can we do to make your banking easier for you?
Experience what it's like to be first at fbcentralohio.com. Member FDIC, an equal housing lender.
Join our resident gambling degenerates Dave Biddle and Scotty Vegas for On the Money Sunday morning at 9.
Presented by ESPN Bet at Hollywood Casino Columbus.
All the action, none of the responsibility. The Fan.
Boating season is finally here, and Buckeye Lake Marina is your go-to destination for all your on-the-water needs. With the largest inventory in Central Ohio, you can choose from top brands like Bennington, South Bay, Crown Line, and more. Buckeye Lake Marina has it all. Pontoon boats, luxury tri-toon boats, even merch. Open 7 days a week to serve you better. Find your next dream boat at Buckeye Lake Marina. Visit BuckeyeLakeMarina.com today for all your on-the-water needs. The good life, the lake life, starts at Buckeye Lake Marina.
Get summer blockbuster savings at Coughlin Kia, Central Ohio's largest volume Kia dealer. Right now, take up to $6,000 off MSRP on any new Kia in stock. Plus, get free maintenance for a full year when you buy. Get any new Kia with up to $6,000 off MSRP. Visit CoughlinKia.com.
Largest Kia dealer based on current ground stock at all 4 Coughlin Kia locations. 2025 Kia Sorento XY. MSRP $47,990. $3,000 Coughlin discount. $3,000 factory rebate. Residency restrictions may apply. See dealer for details. N7725.
Hi, I'm Josie. My daughter turns 5 today. Blow out the candles. I'm also an Ohio State Highway Patrol trooper. When you move over and slow down, you're not only giving me room to work, you're making sure I can get home to celebrate with my daughter.
Roadside workers have lives and families, but when they're on the job, they put it all on the line to protect and serve us. Let's all give them room to work. When you see flashing lights, remember, they're not just roadside workers. Thank you for moving over and slowing down.
Did you know 38% of Ohio's teenagers have spent money on gambling and video and online games? Items like mystery boxes, skins, and spin to win mimic gambling, putting children at a higher risk of experiencing a gambling disorder as an adult. So get in the know about youth gambling and start the conversation with discussion guides, parent resources, and more at changethegameohio.org. That's changethegameohio.org.
All your favorite fan shows are available when you want them.
Head to 971thefan.com and hit that subscribe button.
The Fan, Ohio sports destination. We firmly believe it's appropriate to tailgate before a youth soccer game. You're listening to Fan Sports Saturday.
It would have been ill-advised to tailgate before doing this event. We are live out here still at Otterbein University on the 50-yard line at Memorial Stadium for the inaugural 9-7 The Race. Eric Reiser, Cole Martinez, joined now by Jen Winters. Bone had to step off and go do dad duties for the day, but it got pretty hot pretty quick.
It did.
And I remember before the race started, before Leo Welsh did the national anthem, we're just telling everybody, hey, if you're drinking water, drink some more.
Yes.
Because one of us, our dear friend Adam King, I thought we were going to lose today.
Oh man!
Because he wanted to run a 5K in a suit. Now, when
I think he Michael Scotted it.
Because I was running behind.
This breeze is great, by the way.
It is nice.
as we talk about how hot it is, as the wind interferes with our feet.
And it's gorgeous out here, but when you're running, and if you've run around Westerville before in the metro park that we ran through, it's pretty sunny. And I remember running behind. Cole and Adam were running together, and then I all of a sudden see Adam take the sport coat off, and he's got the sport coat tied around his waist. I'm like, that's got to be the hottest thing in the world.
I got a text from Cole right at the 0.7 miles, and he's like, King has lost his jacket.
Further up the route, I see Adam King with no coat on, sitting under a tree, looking like he was about to suffer from heat stroke. And so I knew that there was a water station maybe 100 yards down the course, so I go to get him water, and he just dumps it on himself. I'm like, that's not what that was for.
Ingest it.
Alrighty, bud. As long as, and I think I saw him when he came back, so he survived that. But at the beginning of the race, there was nobody peacocking harder than Adam King, and I'm gonna run it in a full suit. It's like, that's a horrible idea.
He made it known that he was here.
You will see him on the news tonight talking before the race. And I know, Jen, you were getting video of people doing This Is Me before the race. I did one with Tyler, This Is Me after the race, where my nipples weren't bleeding. Did we get Adam King before he left?
We did. We got Tyler got him as he crossed the finish line, and then he.
So he did cross the finish line.
He crossed the finish line, and then he just laid out on the turf, and so Tyler also got one of him on the turf, and it was great. And it was just his parents were here too to cheer him on, which was just so sweet and cute. And yeah, that was. I just hope he burns that suit, because there's no coming back from that.
I'll give him credit for this, though. We pick on Adam, and Adam can laugh at himself, so it's all good. You got to commit to the bit in radio.
He did.
Mm-hmm.
And so he was put on the spot a little bit because, he thought he was joking about running in a suit until everybody else started talking about it, and then the joke kind of became real.
Well, I made the promo. I was like, no, it's not going to be real unless we make this promo.
It was in this. In fact, I had to ask Matty Ice because we would be reading the script to promote this event, and he kept mentioning Adam King in a suit, and I thought he was improvising, and I said, is that actually in the script? And he goes, yes. So I'm like, I guess he has to do it, and he did.
He did.
I have the video evidence. I was texting and tweeting live in the first mile before I had to get focused. But I did. There was at least a little bit of evidence that Adam King was jogging in a suit. Now, I thought his pace was a little bit off because we started off together, and then he went ahead of me like half a mile in, and then by the first mile marker, I was ahead of him. So I think he burned out a little bit quickly. I think he tried to turn the marathon into a sprint. I don't know. But he was a little bit all over the place. And Eric Reiser, I will give you credit for eclipsing 10K because you ran the full 9.71.
Yeah,
plus, you had to run backwards to give Adam King his water and then retrace your own steps.
Well, it's the goal that I have before really doing anything is don't die. before you do anything.
I think we
try
had
not to die.
zero death toll today.
And he looked
I
so
think.
close
Yeah.
to being on death's doorstep. And I mean, again, there's not a cloud in the sky. It's pushing 90 degrees. I think our wonderful friends at 10 TV have weather impact alert days for Sunday and for Monday. So
they do.
If you are out in a suit, just hydrate. Please, because I don't know what he's drinking on a Friday night. If maybe he's having a couple of adult pops, or the one thing I've learned in my old age is you can't have coffee before you do stuff like this because it dehydrates the hell out of you.
Right.
So it's everything you put in your body, and this is going to make me sound older than I am, but you just have to be so careful of not dehydrating yourself before doing an event like this. And I didn't do it in a suit, so I don't.
Well, and you're not sounding old. You're giving good advice for those people who are learning how to run distance.
He has to do one better next year. Like how do
Oh,
if you're
believe me,
Adam
we
King,
will hold
top
his feet to the
this?
fire for next year. Yes.
Because he didn't have a tie on. He had the shirt, the race shirt, and he had the sport coat and pants. So are you running then in a full suit and tie?
I just want to know about chafing. And
it's
if
real.
he prepared himself for that. Because I don't think he did.
Because I don't know if he's a runner.
I don't think he's
And
a
he's
runner.
active?
In that little promo we shot, he was running like Tom Cruise runs. And that's not really like a good
Have you seen the
form.
new Mission Impossible yet?
I don't go to the movies.
Oh, okay.
I'm weird. Sorry.
That was a very firm stance.
I wish we had. I wish we had more time to go into that. Was it a COVID? Like, was movie theaters a COVID casualty for you?
I'm a film minor from the Ohio University.
Go Bobcats.
Go Bobcats. OU. Oh yeah. And I hate going to the theater. I hate just being around people who are on their phones, they're talking. It's like I want my own food, I want my own drinks.
Fair.
I want to
These are all
pause it,
fair
go to
things.
the bathroom. Yeah. So and then when COVID happened, it was just a great way for me just to say I'm done with the movies.
On the topic of hydration, real quick, the one piece of advice, as I am actively learning, no matter how you slept or didn't sleep the night before, do not have a cup of coffee the morning of. Listen to whatever kind of rock music you need to pump yourself up. Buck Cherry, Alice in Chains, I don't care, whatever you need to do.
Buck Cherry?
But coffee's a risk. So there was a point, I made it out okay. There was a mile or two where the only thing that I was fighting against was my stomach, but we made it out
It
okay.
moves through you, and the pre-race number 2 is undefeated, and coffee does expedite that process, and there's no worse feeling than being on the course and I've got to go, but I can't just hop into the woods and take care of it real quick.
No, because
I need
there
a
are people
station
running in the
here.
woods.
Right. Real quick, thank you guys.
No,
for
thank
all of your
you.
work for this.
And I know I brought you up here, and you got out of the car, and I was just like, I want you to take a second and just look at the hard work that you've put into this. I am so proud of you and so impressed with what you and Bone were able to put together. This is amazing. The community that came out here, yes, there are listeners, yes, they're fans, but it felt like a bunch of friends all together, and I cannot wait to see what we're able to do next year, and I'm so proud of you. You did a great job.
Well, thank you, guys. Thank you to the Ohio State
Yes.
Wexner Medical Center for being the sponsor of this. Logan Services, Raising Cane's, Panera, Jets Pizza, Go Brewing, Impact Health and Wellness, the Ohio State University, Army ROTC. I think we're doing push-up competitions with the people at Impact Health and Wellness. Otterbein University
Yes.
for allowing us to be on your football
Their
field to
beautiful
do this
stadium.
nonsense. The City of Westerville, Westerville PD, Westerville Fire, first responders for making sure that Adam King didn't pass out. Otterbein University, again, I can't thank them enough for allowing us to be able to park and use your facilities. David Babner, the team at M3S Sports, the volunteers, all of the runners, Shannon with course mapping and logistics, marketing and promotion, Eric, Danielle, Brent. The job that they did for the last couple of years has been nothing short of incredible. Fish, Scotty, Tyler, Cam, Jen, Common Man for getting Creed to be played in Westerville at 8:30 in the morning.
My guy Daniel
Was incredible. Tyvis, Adam King, whoever has to clean his suit. Also, you're the MVP. Tracy, Amy, and Sales for all the hard work in making this happen from a fan standpoint. And most importantly, thanks to you, all the listeners and all those who participated this year. Looking forward to an even better event in 2026. This has been the outside, we'll do it outside, a version of Sports Saturday. We'll send you back now to the studios. Matt Fontana, Tim May will have you until 1 o'clock on The Fan.
Catch the latest from the world of Ohio State athletics. Weeknights at 6 on The Buckeye Show. New special guests and everything scarlet and gray. The Fan.
Working your way through that honey-do list? That means more flushes, more showers, more fiddling with the thermostat. Trust the pros at the Waterworks with your plumbing and drain cleanings and repairs and all your heating and cooling needs. Our certified pros can repair or replace your furnace or air conditioner. Clogs? Call the Waterworks. Drain cleaning? Call the Waterworks. Plumbing issues? Call the Waterworks. Furnace repairs? Call the Waterworks. The Waterworks. Trusted neighborhood plumbing, drain, heating, and cooling experts.
Breaking news coming in from Bet365, and it's no surprise. Same game parlay from Bet365 just keeps getting better.
Well, it's even easier to make a bet. Choose from the most popular markets like hits, run line, totals, and home runs. So many to choose from.
Download the app, start building your bet, and see why it's never ordinary at Bet365. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in Ohio. T&Cs apply.
Boating season is finally here, and Buckeye Lake Marina is your go-to destination for all your on-the-water needs. With the largest inventory in Central Ohio, you can choose from top brands like Bennington, South Bay, Crown Line, and more. Buckeye Lake Marina has it all. Pontoon boats, luxury tri-toon boats, even merch. Open 7 days a week to serve you better. Find your next dream boat at Buckeye Lake Marina. Visit BuckeyeLakeMarina.com today for all your on-the-water needs. The good life, the lake life, starts at Buckeye Lake Marina.
Bobby Carpenter here for Germain Toyota. Swing by Germain Toyota and ask for Marcello and discover unbeatable deals and a wide selection of new and certified pre-owned Toyota vehicles. Visit them at germaintoyota.net. Germain Toyota on the corner of I-70 and Bryce Road.
When it comes to your roofing, siding, or gutter needs, call Newman Roofing, 614-NEW-ROOF, newmanroofing.com.
Hey there, friends. Bo Bishop here, and so are the summer savings at RCD RV. Don't miss RCD RV's summer kickoff sale running June 7th through the 21st. New RVs starting as low as $12,995. Now's the time to make a splash this summer. Hurry in. Those deals will not last long. Find unbeatable savings, unforgettable fun, and everything you need to hit the road at RCDRV.com. Visit our locations, Delaware, Heath, and Pataskala, or shop online anytime at RCDRV.com.
The Bobcat National Sales Event is happening now at Bobcat Enterprises. Get up to $10,000 in rebates or choose financing as low as 0% for 60 months on the industry's most comfortable compact loaders. See Bobcat Enterprises in Hilliard, Reynoldsburg, or Zanesville today for incredible savings during the National Sales Event, and find the current specials and full line of products at bobcatent.com.
Some restrictions apply. Length of contract and rate may vary. Offer ends June 30th, 2025.
Bobcat Enterprises, celebrating 50 years of serving you.
Broadcasting from the Lindsay Honda Studios.
Honda makes the cars. Lindsay makes the difference. Visit lindsayhonda.com.
WBNS-FM, HD1 Columbus. The Fan. Sports Center.
And I'm Nate Pooterball. In St. Louis last night, the Cardinals beat the Reds 6-1 on the back of 6 scoreless innings from Andre Palant. Game 2 is this afternoon with Wade Miley of the Reds taking on the Cardinals right-hander Sonny Gray. First pitch is at 2:15. Catch the action right here on The Fan. Late last night, the Athletics topped the Cleveland Guardians by a score of 5-1. Jeffrey Springs of the A's allowed just 3 hits in 7 1/3 innings, and rookie Nick Kurtz hit a homer in his 3rd straight game to lead the Athletics. Game 2 of the series is late tonight, starting at 10:05. LL Ortiz takes the mound for the Guardians, squaring off against Mitch Spence. And at the TPC River Highlands, it's a 3-way tie atop the leaderboard at the Travelers Championship with Scotty Scheffler, Justin Thomas, and Tommy Fleetwood all sitting at 9 under. Fleetwood and Jason Day tee off today at 2:15, with Scheffler and Thomas set to tee off at 2:30. Breaking sports news when it happens on The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Just because it's the weekend doesn't mean we shut up. This is Fan Sports Saturday.
Little hour break, but we're back. Tim May, Matt Fontana with you. Hopefully everybody enjoyed their time out at the race. We're going to get even more insight because Adam King's going to join us coming up in just a few minutes, and plenty to go. So again, we took a little hour break. We're back for an hour. We got plenty coming up on the pro side of football things, including some contracts extensions. We'll revisit the college football playoff expansion, and I'm really excited for this conversation we'll get to with Tim. We got into some quarterback recruiting stuff. talking about Tavian St. Clair and his brother, just kind of what that means to get Ohio State and be a guy that wants to be there. We'll get that all coming up. But a guy that I know wants to be here, at least I'm going to pretend and tell myself he wants to be here. It's Adam King joining us, of course, 10 TV, who ran the race today, the 971, the race in a suit. Adam, I saw the picture. Was that sweat, or did somebody dump a bucket of water on you when you were done?
That was sweat, and then I also had some water that I had dumped. But it was very sweaty. The dry cleaning bill is going to be very, very high moving forward. I have no doubt.
Yeah, and why did you run the race in a suit? I think the big question here is the why. Why did that happen? Was it a dare? Did Dom dare you? Did Nicole Sheeran dare you? Did T-Bone dare you? Did Eric Reiser dare you?
I just thought that we needed to up the fashion game at 5K across Columbus. You know, I look around, everybody's in shorts and a shirt. We need to, you dress for the job you want, and you never know who you're going to meet. So I was ready for, anything today. No, about 3 months ago, they said they were doing this 5K, and I said, oh, it'd be funny. Run in a suit, because I always wear suits. And everybody laughed. And then about 2 months ago, I heard a promo that I'd be running it in a suit. And I was like, oh.
Well, hey,
right.
by the way, ladies and gentlemen, this guy wears a suit, and it can be like August 30th when Ohio State plays Texas. He'll be in a suit when it's like 900 degrees on the field, and when they play, who's the game before they play at Michigan, it'll be like -10, and he'll still be in just a suit and not a jacket. I mean, the guy's crazy. But I'm just wondering, like a lot of people are out there, was it at least wicking material, sweat wicking material that the suit was made out of?
Does Under Armour make suits, Adam? You should have
yeah, exactly.
I will say I went through my whole closet, and I had this one suit. It's an older suit. I don't wear it often. But on the inside, it said, Cool Max suit, meant to keep you cool. Now, I don't know who invented that suit, but I don't think they ever envisioned this being used. I think they probably meant on a hot day, you're in a suit, it might keep you a little cooler. But I felt cool for the first mile.
Yeah.
And the heat really took over.
I was going to say, I was working on my zero turn this morning early, and it's not like it is right now, man. It's the frying pan. Did you finish the race? I mean, what length did you run, by the way, Adam? What length?
I ran the 5K.
Wow. 2 miles, ladies and gentlemen.
That's 3.2, 3.2. And I did.
3.2, that's right. Yeah, go ahead, I'm sorry.
Stop for half a second there. Just to make sure, didn't want to overheat, don't want to be stupid about it. We can have fun, but we don't want to be stupid. And but you finished the race, had a great time. The people, here's the funny part. So I started to get nervous last night. I'm like, what if I'm out there and nobody knows what I'm doing?
Yeah.
Like I get out there and everybody's just like, who's this guy? And why is he in a full suit? Why is this? What is going on?
Yeah.
But I got out there, and within seconds, people were, hey, you did it. You're actually going to run it. And people were so supportive, running alongside me. And
nice.
It felt great. I channeled my inner cross-country days in high school, but I hadn't run since high school. So my legs are not great right now.
Formula One drivers, IndyCar drivers, when they race in the heat, even in their driving their car, they lose 4, 5, 6 pounds. How much did you lose just running that race, you think?
Well, I definitely think the water weight's all gone. I will say, and this is maybe the next goal, it's quite sad. I thought, hey, I wonder what the world record of race run in a suit is.
That is sad.
Some guy ran a marathon in 2 hours and 30 minutes in a full suit.
Yeah.
That is chafing I don't wish on anyone.
The YouTube description may right now just be, why did Adam King run in a suit?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's cool. Pardon the expression.
I'll tell you, I won't be breaking that Guinness record because that's insane. 3.2 miles was enough for me.
Was it harder or easier than you thought it was going to be?
So the first mile and a half was actually, I felt really good. I was surprised. And then it kind of hit all at once, and I think I was more surprised. Again, I haven't run since high school. People say, I never run. Like, I literally haven't run since high school.
Man, that's crazy.
And so my legs at a mile and a half were like, all right, what are we doing here? What's going on? And so that was the bigger problem than actually the suit, was just my legs tightening up. And I'm not a wee lad anymore. I'm not as young as I once was.
All right. Was it a 3-button suit, a 2-button suit? Were the buttons buttoned? I mean, what was your approach? And did you start opening buttons as the race ensued? To give us a little bit of insight there from what your technique was.
So 2-button suit. Ran it for the first mile and a half, full suit on.
Wow.
For a little bit there, I took the jacket off, tied it around my waist. That was probably for half a mile. And then put it back on and finished the race with it on, because some guy ran past me and he said, "I don't think it counts if you take the jacket off." And so I said, "All right, sir, all right."
No, that's incorrect. That's incorrect, because I think if you just have to get to the finish line with everything you started, you know what I mean, that you were wearing, that you had on your body. You have to get to the finish line in some form or fashion with that piece of clothing still with you. I'm pretty sure if you looked into the fine print of the rules of guys running races in suits, it would be there.
Yeah. There's a club. I'm trying to start a club. I will tell you, here's a little insight. I didn't bring headphones because I didn't know. Like when you run a 5K, do you wear headphones with the community? So I didn't bring some, but then I was like, maybe I need some. So, Tyler, one of our 97 The Fan great promoters, was he gave me his headphones. And so I used those for a little bit, and then I just put them around my neck. And so when I stopped to take off my jacket, I took the headphones off and I set them down, and I forgot them. And so I ran about a quarter mile, and I went, "Oh, where are those?" And I ran back to go get them. So really, I ran a little more than a 5K.
Oh my goodness, that's crazy. Yeah. That's crazy talk. But you are kind of crazy.
Leave Tyler's headphones.
Yeah. Wow. Well, congratulations, Adam.
Yeah,
I mean,
I think that's awesome.
You left your mark.
I do think it's one of the weirder congratulations of my life. A lot of people have been saying congrats today, and I'm like, that doesn't matter. I graduated college. That felt like a big one.
Yeah.
Working alongside you guys every day feels big, but running in a suit feels more like, boy, that guy's just stupid, huh?
But how many people can say they've done that?
Yeah.
I think that's like, it's a small list, yeah. And you're on that list, Adam, so I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
More than I expected, though, after Googling it afterwards.
That's fair.
I'm thinking more people have won the Heisman Trophy than have run a race in a suit.
That's a good call, yeah.
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
You know what, Tim? I might get a shirt that says that.
Yes, I would do that. I mean, I would be marketing it right now, getting Nicole Sheeran on it. She'll promote it.
Yeah, I like it.
Anyway,
one other question for you. Outside of you, of the 971 The Fan people, who was the best? Like, who would you give the, I don't say most athletic, everybody's a little bit different, but like, who do you think held up the best that ran this morning from The Fan?
So, first things first, I got to give Cole a shout-out. He was my pacer for the first mile and a half.
Okay.
And that's where I felt good. We were hand-in-hand together, running. He was keeping me going. Shout-out to Reiser. Reiser.
Nice.
I got a little bit ahead of him in the beginning because I took too fast of a pace with Cole. And so then when I stopped to tie it around my waist, Reiser was worried. So Reiser ran up to a table and grabbed me water and ran it back to me because he thought I was dying. And I was like, "No, I'm fine. I'm just tying it." So shout out to Reiser. He was great. And then T-Bone. T-Bone did the whole 5K. It was great to see that. That was awesome.
Nice. Shout out to T-Bone. I mean, Reiser said that when he brought you water that you dumped it on your head instead of drinking it. Is that correct?
That is accurate.
Wow.
That is accurate. Got to keep the internal body temperature cool. That's the thing. A lot of people don't know that when you run in a suit, it's more about the inside body temperature than the outside.
Absolutely.
Gotta keep that mindset.
Absolutely. That's his training, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, he's been around sports.
An expert at running in a suit.
He's been around sports long enough to know it's the internal temperature that matters, even on an engine. You're exactly right.
Yep.
Wow.
Exactly.
Congratulations.
Adam, you did a great job. Yeah, man. We really appreciate you jumping on to join us. And it was a great event, not only just, again, for the area, for raising a lot of money as well. And you were out there. And I would say this is no offense to any other racer, but you were the best dressed. So.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. I do want to say, shout out to everybody that came out. It was so much fun. The support, that people were supporting each other, laughing, having a good time. It was awesome. Such an amazing event. I'm already training for next year.
Wow.
There it is.
Wow. He's picking out his next suit.
The only thing is a half marathon after that.
By the way, shout out to...
Not a chance.
By the way, while we're doing shout-outs real quick, shout out to Owen May. My grandson had a big-time hit in T-ball today, and I'm sure his brother Charlie was cheering him all the way. But nothing is going to top Adam King today. Agreed, Matt?
No, I would say those two are top. That's all I got. They're 1, 2, 1A, 1B.
I think I topped your grandson, Tim. All right, let's not make it about your grandson, okay?
Let's make it about
He's
that.
pretty cute, though. He's like you, man.
Did he
He's
do
pretty
it
cute.
in a suit, though? Did he do it in a suit? That would be the big question. Adam, we appreciate you,
Thank you,
man. Go
Jen.
back, relax, get a beverage, by the way, and not just water, and celebrate the day. All right.
Thank you, gents.
There he goes. Adam King, who, again, if you missed it today at the 9-7, won the race today. Adam ran it in a suit, and like you said, there were so many people that were out there today enjoying it, Tim, and
Yes.
able to raise some money for charity. But something that I know the station was very excited about, as they were. There's great support out there, a lot of people, and I would venture to say that after the raring success that today was, this will not be the last
Absolutely.
Version of the race.
Absolutely. I've ran into a few of those kind of things when I first met my wife because she was into that. But, I could get into all kinds of stories why I quit running, but I was mainly into it to get the T-shirts.
Yeah, well, and there was T-shirt. You got a T-shirt
Back
and
in
a
the
finisher's
day.
medal
Yeah,
today.
yeah, like the
and there was
Citizen-
Raising Canes.
Yeah.
So let me tell you a quick story, Tim. Before, so I have never been good at running. I played football. I wrestled, baseball, not running, track, nothing that. So
Yeah.
my wife and I think a lot of people know about Velasano, which is up here in Cleveland, and that's a biking event that you register money for cancer research. And there's ones that are hundreds of miles on a bike.
Ugh.
We didn't do that. We did the second smallest that you could do. It was 25 miles on a bike. So we did this years ago. We weren't even married, right? I don't have a bike. So my brother's girlfriend goes, well, my brother has a bike. You can borrow his. And I go, no problem. And my wife has a nice, road bike. So we start going. And she's just looking at me like, you're embarrassing me at this point. I'm like, I can't do, I'm literally huffing and puffing, about to have a heart attack. And I'm in decent shape, but I trained, so I thought.
Yeah.
We're up hills, down hills. We finally get done with the race. And eventually I just let her go. I said, just go. I'm slowing you down. Just, and she left me, whatever. I crossed the finish line. Tim, we're loading the bike into the car.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I found out?
No.
The brake was broken, and it was on the wheel the whole time. The whole race, the rear brake was on the wheel of the bike, and the wheel was bent.
You're lucky the thing didn't catch fire. Me and Ken Herman in 1975, in the middle of the summer, there was a bike race, a charity thing for 25-mile bike run in Lufkin, Texas. The temperature was always like it's going to be today in Lufkin for 6 months out of the year, 5 months out of the year. We decided to do this race on a bicycle built for two. He was a news guy. I was a sports editor of the Lufkin News. And the bicycle built for two probably weighed 60 pounds if it weighed a pound. We walked at least half of the race because we just couldn't push this thing up hills and stuff. And I go, I'm never doing anything like that again.
Yeah, no, we did it once. She's mentioned it, and she actually bought me a proper road bike. So now I am actually well equipped to do it. But I was like, you know what? I'm a little scarred from it.
Yes.
We're just going to kind of move off of it. But again, shout out to everybody that showed up today for the race, for the 5K, for the 1 mile. And again, like Adam said, already start your training for next year. It's going to be great. Let's catch a break. We come back. Plenty more to get back into on our next hour, if you will. We'll take you up to 1 o'clock on Fan Sports Saturday. Want to revisit the college football playoff expansion after, again, meetings this week really weren't fruitful. So I thought about doing this with Tim. We're going to help the meetings out. We're going to help the meetings move forward now on the college football expansion, so we'll get to that. Also want to discuss some things on the NFL because Bleacher Report ran through the most important contract extensions coming up for all the teams. Browns, Bengals, and Steelers. And then off of the Bengals one, you can probably guess what extension it is, I've got a mock trade for Trey Hendrickson. That was floated out there coming up in a little bit. And also Orlando Brown spoke on the trade Trey Hendrickson situation down there in Cincinnati. So we got that all coming up. Don't go anywhere. Fan Sports Saturday, right here on The Fan.
If you consider yourself a Buckeye fan, you've come to the right place. This is your heritage sports talker and home of Ohio State Athletics, The Fan, Ohio sports destination. Get an Eco.
ECO. Hey, Jerry, I think I invented something. Does it solve a problem? It solves a big problem.
Get an Eco.
ECO. Heating and cooling companies are telling people your furnace and AC isn't worth fixing. You need to replace it with a whole new system.
You invented a solution for that?
I invented a way to fix those systems for free.
Get an Eco.
ECO.
That's a great invention. How does it work?
Step 1 is to pay ECO to fix it.
I thought you said you'd fix it for free.
Step 2 is that we give you back all the money that you paid us, up to $1,500 when you get ECO to replace it.
Get ECO.
ECO.
What if your repair keeps my system running for several more years?
That would mean you got all those extra years for free.
Paying ECO to fix your AC system is like putting money in the bank.
Get ECO.
ECO.
Get ECO.
ECO.
Get ECO.
ECO.
ECO plumbers, electricians, and HVAC technicians.
GetEco.com.
He shoots, he scores! No matter your sport, it's a great time of year to be a fan. But the fun stops when you or a loved one can't control your gambling. At Maryhaven, we're here to help. Whether it's gambling, drugs, alcohol, or mental health, you don't have to go it alone. With in-person, virtual, and group options, Maryhaven meets you where you are. Always judgment-free. Go to maryhaven.com today. That's maryhaven.com.
When you're a AAA member, we do the hard stuff for you. So picture this. You're taking a road trip through the mountains at night, and you run out of gas. Do you, A, call AAA, or B, walk 29 miles to the nearest gas station in the pouring rain?
A?
How about this? You need auto insurance. You could A, pick AAA to find the best coverage for you, or B, spend so much time researching insurance jargon that you might as well have gotten a law degree.
Yeah, I'm going with A.
Right. Okay, you're booking a vacation. You can A, have AAA plan it for you, or B, stress so hard about layovers and getting to your cruise that you need a vacation from booking your vacation.
That's easy. A, AAA.
On the plus side, get more with AAA. Go to AAA.com/plus side.
Hi, I'm Bob Capace from Worthington Jewelers.
And I'm his very overpaid celebrity endorser, Common Man. Bob, I heard somewhere, actually from you many, many times, that Worthington Jewelers is where Columbus gets engaged.
It's too bad you and Timmy can't engage the audience.
Good zing, Bob.
If you're thinking of popping the question, there's only one place to go.
Worthington Jewelers on High Street in Worthington. WorthingtonJewelers.com. Tell them Common Man sent you.
Days when people lived to be 40, you only had one option for listening to your favorite show. But now, ooh, baby, radio, podcast, the Fan app, and YouTube, just to name a few, live or on demand. You have no excuses. The Fan.
Master Grillers Unite. The grilling season never ends at Billiards Plus. Come see their best-in-class grills for yourself and check out Central Ohio's largest selection of pool tables, game furniture, and shuffleboard. Family-owned and operated. Billiards Plus on Dublin Center Drive in Dublin.
Better squeeze that lucky rabbit's foot, check your horoscope, and shake that lucky 8-ball. Ohio Lottery's next Powerball drawing is tonight. Powerball jackpots are growing faster than ever. So what are you waiting for? Get your Powerball tickets today.
Check it.
And remember, Keno Double Booster is back every Monday in June. For all Keno tickets with Booster purchased between 3 and 5 o'clock, the Booster will be doubled. Your winnings could be boosted by as much as 20 times. Don't miss out. Play today. Lottery players are subject to commission laws and regulations. Play responsibly.
Looking to sell your home? Don't pay 6% commission. Call my guys at Sell for 1% Realtors. They're full service, not a do-it-yourself kind of thing. On average, customers save over $10,000. Give them a call, 614-451-6616. That's 451-6616.
As down payments get bigger, millions of renters across America feel like they'll never be able to buy a home. So instead of lowering expectations, Rocket Mortgage is lowering down payments to 1% for eligible home buyers with OnePlus, helping more renters become owners. Call 800-4ROCKET or visit rocket.com to get a head start on your starter home.
Rocket Mortgage, LLC, licensed in all 50 states, NMLSconsumeraccess.org, number 3030.
Shopping with your parents can be embarrassing.
Why would they sell jeans with holes in them? I'm going to speak to the manager.
Mom!
That hoodie is giving. You should get it. YOLO.
Thanks to the Chase mobile app, your kid can shop independently while you keep an eye on their spending. So you can go from...
We can be twinsies.
...to...
How was shopping? Saw you stayed on budget.
Thanks, Mom. Freedom for kids, control for parents. That's family banking from Chase.
Account subject to approval. Chase mobile app is available for select mobile devices. Message and data rates may apply. JP Morgan Chase Bank N.A. member FDIC.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
I'm meteorologist Aaron White with your 10 weather impact forecast here for the weekend. We're tracking that heat building in here for today. Mostly sunny and a high around 90, and then more sunshine and up to 94 here for your Sunday. Heat index values will be near 100 during the afternoon, so make sure to stay cool. Drink plenty of water here as we're going through this heat wave. The mid-90s will continue with more sunshine here for Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. And that's a look at your 10 weather impact forecast here on 97.1 The Fan.
Buckeye games have been airing on WBNS since before you were born and before your parents were born and before Abraham Lincoln was born. Trust me, your home of the Buckeyes, The Fan. Instead of annoying national people talking to you this weekend, we've opted for annoying local people. This is Fan Sports Saturday.
Well, it's starting to get annoying on the college football playoff side of things because we have meetings, and Tim, I think I blame myself for expecting there to actually be something to come out of these meetings because there wasn't. And we're going to help it out here. Matt Fontana, Tim May with you here on the Fan Sports Saturday. So this is a recap that came out surrounding some meetings that happened this past week in Asheville, North Carolina, about the future of college football and kind of where we're going to go. And we know this has been one of just 1,000 things on the list of college football and the NCAA with NIL, now revenue sharing and all of that. But they also need to figure out what are we doing with the college football playoff expansion. So coming out of these meetings, basically to sum it up for everybody, it was a reset and nothing really was moved forward. Nothing was at least tabled, or I want to see the minutes. I want to know whose job it was to keep the minutes of this meeting. But nonetheless, Tim, I thought it'd be interesting. What should be the next steps? You know, we've discussed that we know expansion's coming. There's debate about the format and things like that. But if you and I were in charge and we sat down and we told everybody, hey, at least for our next meeting, what do you think should be the next steps, the next accomplishments that we need to start moving forward with?
They need to decide, in my opinion, they need to decide what number they're going to in terms of, are you going to stick with 12? Or are you going to do this far-fetched, stupid 14 idea? Or are you going to go to 16? Because, that allows the people who really matter in this. And, the people who really matter in this are not the fans and are not the teams. It's the networks that are going to pony up. Who's going to be, is it going to be ESPN, ABC, continuing a deal, because you've got to get, number one, you've got to get them straight on what you're talking about in terms of inventory for them to deal with and how much that money, how they're going to generate cash in that regard, because it finally comes down to how much money you're making from this. That's the only main reason they're doing it in the first place. So I would think the number of teams or programs, games involved is what matters most. Are there going to be 8 first-round games, 6 first-round games, et cetera, and then go from there? Maybe then, just like like they revamped the pecking order for the upcoming 12-team playoff. It's going to be based on seedings, not on necessarily who won championships and seeding. So that's where they need to go. Number one is the number of teams involved. Now the product you're going to be throwing out there from an inventory standpoint, and you move on from there. But I think settling, I'm pretty sure it's going to be 16, aren't you?
I was just, it's so funny you say that. I was going to ask you my next question. Do you think we are resigned to just being 16? Because another part of this SI article was going back to square one after months of 14-team brackets and then a 16-teamer, and then they bring up that sticking with the 12-team format has truly always been an option and was once preferable, including by ESPN.
Right.
That said that's plenty enough, because I think even if and math is far from my specialty, but as I sit here and I try to divvy it all up and I say, okay, 12. Okay, that's 6 games. The format of the buys. I have 4 games that I have to worry about.
Right, not 8.
Easy.
Yeah,
not 8, and that's okay over 2 days, because then once you start talking about 3 days, then you start saying, well, that's an unfair advantage to a team that's got to play. I'm just going to say, let's say they play Thursday, Friday, Saturday, because they have to do a minimum of 3 days if they go to this format, right? Mm-hmm. Well, how are you going to say, okay, well, the team that plays on Saturday, they can't be first up the next weekend, which would then probably also have to be that amount of days. They can't play on Thursday, but then if they advance in the bracket and they go with the reformatting after the first round, which is what everybody wants, well, then it seems, it just gets
right. But here's the thing:
convoluted.
As long as you give teams more than a week to prepare the winners, to prepare for the next game, whether you play on a Thursday or a Saturday in that first round, I think that's negligible one way or the other. It is a little bit of an advantage. So maybe you would let the is it higher seeds? I always get that mixed up in my head. The 1, 2, 3, 4s.
Sure.
You let them play.
Maybe let them higher. People think you mean 8 versus 1, but the better seed.
Right.
The better seed.
Maybe let them play first. Except that means they'd be playing on let's say a Thursday. Is that what you really want? Right. But there's a way to definitely do it because they worked in enough cushion, I think. Although I think 4 extra games for any college football program is asking a lot. Just to ask Georgia losing their quarterback in the SEC championship game, and then you saw what they were like with their backup quarterback in the playoffs. So, but the bottom line is there's going to be attrition in some form or fashion. But I really think it makes it fair for everybody if everybody plays the same number of games in the playoff. That doesn't necessarily mean if you make your conference championship game, you're going to play an extra game. That's just life, right? But some teams, Penn State was faced with the specter of playing its championship game last year in the Big Ten, and then it still had to win 4 games to win the national championship. So, what is fair, right? But the bottom line is, I think the number of teams involved, and they can figure it out Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and then move on from there.
I also wonder about ESPN, who, again, according to SI here, they were they like the 12 team because this is crazy for me to say, but I think it's true. There is only so much money to make.
Right.
When you're going to these big partners that we know that are involved with all the games and AT&T and Verizon or whoever you're going to get all this money, if you add all these extra games, there really are. I know this sounds crazy to people, and I'm trying to make a point on it, but it's like there are only so many companies that can line up.
Right, but here's the thing.
Tens of millions to offer for games.
Just like when the Big Ten now includes the 3 major networks, Fox, CBS, and NBC, plus the Big Ten network. Pretty much you have a flagship network, which is Fox, which also, major owner of the Big Ten network. They kind of call the shots, as we know about the big noon kickoff August 30th. but they kind of call the shots. But that doesn't mean that ESPN couldn't farm out, let's say some 4 of the first round games to Fox, who is used to carrying college football, CBS or NBC, to help them in that regard and also generate their own little revenue stream there. So there are ways this can be tackled. It doesn't necessarily have to be an exclusive ESPN ABC property.
No, and that's where another change. We all got to start with step 1, figure out the number, then we can figure everything else out, and they got to get moving because it's going to be the 2026
before you know
season. Before you know it, we're going to be there. Let's flip over to some pro football coming up because I thought this was an interesting article from Bleacher Report of the most important contract extension for each team to get done ahead of the 2025 season. I'll give you one guess what the Bengals one is. You know what it is, but off of that, I have a trade proposal for one Trey Hendrickson, and also Orlando Brown Jr. spoke on ESPN's NFL Live about the situation with Trey Hendrickson. We'll get to all that coming up. Fan Sports Saturday. Matt Fontana, Tim May with you. We're back in 2 minutes.
Many drugs, like cocaine, methamphetamine, and non-prescription pills, are often cut with dangerous opioids like fentanyl. As a result, nearly 14 Ohioans die daily from unintentional overdoses. That's why it's important to carry naloxone, such as Narcan, a life-saving medication that blocks the effects of fentanyl and other opioids. Over the last 5 years, naloxone has saved over 83,000 lives. Help save lives and visit naloxone.ohio.gov to learn more and find free naloxone. Remember, if you see an overdose occurring, always call 911.
Breaking news, and this one is almost unbelievable.
Yeah, it's all about new customers at Bet365 because they get $150 in bonus bets when they bet $5, win or lose. And even better, bonus bets can be used on the spread, totals, and player props.
There you have it. Bet $5 to get $150 in bonus bets, win or lose. And see why it's never ordinary at Bet365. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in Ohio. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. T&Cs apply. Available in app only.
At Kroger, we've lowered prices on over 1,000 items across our stores so you can save even more. Whether you're shopping in-store or online at Kroger, we've lowered prices on thousands of the items your family wants and needs. And with lower prices, your dollar goes further every time you shop with us. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
You can save big on 6-packs of Coca-Cola, Pepsi, or 7-Up. Select varieties or buy 2, get 2 free with your card. Limit 8. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
When it comes to your roofing, siding, or gutter needs, call Newman Roofing, 614-NEW-ROOF, newmanroofing.com.
Sometimes I hear a sparkling sound.
Like when we say, all you have to do is point?
There it is.
That's the sound of magic happening.
Magic like we can come the day you call us? Wow.
Call 1-800-GOT-JUNK or visit 1-800-GOTJUNK.com.
Common man, a radio veteran, has a large hemorrhoid. Timmy Hall, a good, clean boy, moonlights as man's hemorrhoid. Common Man and Timmy.
Weekdays at 3.
The Fan. Sports talk, weekend style. You're listening to Fan Sports Saturday.
Supposed to be the downtime in the NFL, but drama still surrounding Trey Hendrickson and the Cincinnati Bengals, and a deal the Browns need to get made and the Steelers need to get done. It's Fan Sports Saturday right here on The Fan. He's Tim May. I'm Matt Fontana. We'll take you up to 1 o'clock today. So we start with this Bleacher Report article, which I thought was interesting, of every team a contract extension that is most important to get done prior to the season coming up. So a lot on this list are young superstars, like the Jets. It was Sauce Gardner. Like, of course, they need to get him done. For the Bengals, it was Micah Parsons, things like that. But for the AFC North, it was a lot of veterans, actually. So it was actually all veterans. The Ravens, they had Tyler Linderbaum. They didn't pick up his fifth-year option, and obviously he's very good. For the Browns, it was David Njoku. But it was interesting because the Browns drafted Harold Fannin, a tight end out of Bowling Green. But Njoku's only 28 and could get a short-term extension just to spread some money out over there. For Pittsburgh, we know it's TJ Watt. He's sitting out a mini camp and sounds like, I think, Tim, that one sounds different, where it's like he and the Steelers are on better place. Like, they know they're going to get some sort of deal done. He'll probably surpass Myles Garrett. I do think the Browns-Steelers rivalry factors into that, by the way. Like, don't the Steelers want to sit there and say, like, no, we're going to give TJ Watt more money than Myles Garrett just because of the rivalry? So I think they'll get that done.
Yeah, but real quick, and how many mini camps you really have to be part of, you know? That's the other thing. It's a little vacation. Go ahead.
I would say that TJ's probably going to be ready to go for the season, as is Myles Garrett. Everybody's freaking out because Myles missed mini camp, but he showed up for the mandatory one, and Timmy looked electric. He looked jacked.
And plus, man, I just keep thinking about that draft where he introduced the draft pick, remember, and his guns.
Yeah,
I'm just going, this man's
floating out of the suit.
This man's built different, you know. Good thing Adam King didn't have that suit on today.
No, that would have been a tough go for one Adam King at the race today for sure. And then for the Bengals, it is Trey Hendrickson, and there's been this lack of communication. There's been frustration on both sides of it, and he got a little support from a teammate because Orlando Brown Jr. was on ESPN NFL Live. And he said, first off, we have a very close locker room. Guys have talked to Trey, and then they bring up, the Shamar Stewart situation with he's a rookie that still hasn't signed his contract for sounded like language they didn't like, or they're going back and forth. But Orlando Brown continued. Everybody's talked to Trey. They've talked to Shamar. They even talked with Jamar and T when they were going through what they were going through. We spoke to them. I mean, ultimately, it's the NFL. It's a business. It's part of it. These types of things happen. But I would imagine these deals get done hopefully sooner rather than later. And for the Bengals, it's kind of crazy to think. The rookies report on July 19th, so we're less than a month away. Veterans are on the 22nd, so a month from tomorrow. But I think that, Tim, with the Bengals situation, they're dug in. Trey Hendrickson's reportedly willing to miss games if needed. He's already been fined $100,000 for missing the minicamp. And I think it's hard for Orlando Brown to come out and be too vocal, knowing that his employer is still the Cincinnati Bengals and he still plays on that team. But hear him kind of, I think, try to calm some things down to say he thinks it'll get it done. I hope that goes a little way to getting it done there for the Bengals and Trey Hendrickson.
Yeah, absolutely. And here's the thing: what Trey Hendrickson did he lead the league in sacks last year? If I'm not mistaken,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
This guy's a special player. There are special players who have a way of getting to the quarterback who set them apart. One of the more important, when you're starting a team, one of the more important positions you look for in the National Football League is a consistent pass rush from one guy who can't be blocked or held out, like T.J. Watt. T.J. Watt and Hendrickson are kind of the same guy in maybe different physically, but kind of the same guys, and it's important to have him around. It's important to have him happy, if that's the correct term, but more important, it's important to have him on the field. And when a guy is threatening to sit out, obviously he stumped his nose at a $100,000 fine for missing OTA or whatever, workout. Bottom line is he's willing to stick to his guns. And, the Bengals have a little bit of a history, a lot of a history of just sticking to their guns too when it comes to these kind of things. It kind of reminds me, it brings up the idea of, I can just hear these negotiations sometimes with NFL teams and players. Well, you got to prove it to me first. And then when you prove it to them, well, you've got a little older now, though. You know what I mean? The next time around, Yeah. And, the running back for the Philadelphia Eagles last year, the big time Saquon Barkley. Mm-hmm. We all remember that Hard Knocks, off-season Hard Knocks episodes with him and the New York Giants. And the New York Giants, their GM, basically saying, okay, we're going to do this. You're going to be, in essence, out there, but we're going to be here, to give you that right offer when you come back, without promising really him anything. And he pretty much thumbed his nose at the New York Giants. And I think he nodded, okay, yeah, I'm trusting you guys. But he goes to the Philadelphia Eagles, and they win a Super Bowl. So who came out better on that deal? So, these guys always finally have to be looking out for themselves, and sometimes they get portrayed as being bad citizens for a team, whatever the term is you want to use, when in fact it's pro football, which means you get paid, and once you've risen to a certain level, you should get paid according to that level you've risen to. And I can see Hendrickson, if it doesn't go right, him holding out and missing games, and that's very unfortunate.
It is, and I can't remember where I heard this from. It was a long time ago, but the way that I've always kind of looked at it, and the take was this: in baseball, you get paid for what you've already done. In basketball, you usually get paid for things you've already done.
Right.
Football is a sport, you get paid for what you are going to do, not what you've already done. It's what you're going to do, because football is just so, or it can be such a small time frame compared to the other sports. Productivity is an important thing, but it's more about what you're going to get out of that future deal. And that's why even veterans struggled, like you said, Tim, with the age. Like sometimes veterans struggle to get deals. It's because in the NFL, yes, you need to be productive throughout your career, but they don't really almost care what you've done in the past. They care about what you're going to do during the length of that contract. And I think that's probably the impasse that the Bengals are at right now, where they're asking themselves, like, hey, we believe we're going to get production out of T and Jamar. We know we're going to get it out of Joe Burrow. They obviously have questions if they're going to continue to get this production out of Hendrickson.
Yeah, and I don't mean to jump tracks here, but looking at the Browns, Njoku is a weapon. Yes. And great tight ends. People have heard me say this a million times, so I'll say it 1,000,001. No one covers the tight end consistently at any level of football. Having a great tight end you can throw the ball up to, so to speak, like the Browns have done when Njoku's really been healthy and on his game, and they've had a quarterback who could actually do that. It takes two to tango. Is special. But I want to tell you something. The thing about the Browns, and he's probably not quite ready for prime time yet, but this Harold Fannin Jr., the guy they got from BG, Bowling Green, I mean, believe me, Eddie George would like to have that guy back again for a year. But this guy, I really like what he brings to the table. So that it kind of gives the Browns, I would think, a little bit of torque in that deal. But Njoku would be on an open market. Njoku would be would find himself to be quite valuable in an open market right now, because those kind of players are hard to come by.
He is. I mean, he's physical in a way that I don't think I've ever seen for that position. He was drafted which is crazy. It's 28, and he could be in line for yet another contract. He came into the league at 21 because he was so young. And I'm with you. I think any good tight end or any good quarterback usually has that tight end that you look at and you say it's impactful. I'm actually shocked Joe Burrow's gone as long as he has.
Tom Brady.
Having that impactful tight end, but he's got some good receivers to throw to.
Tom Brady,
Gronk. I mean,
the quarterbacks who really get it. I'm gonna preach Tim May's gospel until I'm no longer preaching.
That's a new segment coming to our Saturday.
Yeah, but I'm telling you, the great quarterbacks, 99 times out of 100, they've always incorporated the tight end in their thinking because they understand what I just said a minute ago. And that's college and pro. I mean, so
I agree.
We'll see where it goes. We'll see if Max Clare gets his this year.
That's an exciting thing for the Buckeyes, too. Like, that is super exciting, and they've had a good string of running backs coming up as well. Final thing, because I mentioned this, I just wanted to tie this loose end up, that Daniel Jeremiah came up with a trade idea for Trey Hendrickson.
Yeah.
He was appearing on a ESPN Seattle station. So he brought the Seahawks up and he said, hey, Seattle is a team that they got to chase around Matt Stafford. They're going to have to deal with Brock Purdy now for the foreseeable future. Kyler Murray, like they could use some pass rush up there to try to help them out with Seattle. And obviously if you think that Sam Darnold is going to be able to take you places, maybe they call. But he said, you know, what would comp be? Like, maybe a 3 and a 7? And I don't know. If Cincinnati gets to the point where they're just so hell-bent on not paying him, then yeah, maybe that's a good enough trade for like a 3 and a 7. But I think at that point, I'd rather just pay him.
Mm-hmm.
I'd rather just pay him than get those draft picks back.
Oh, yeah, I agree 100%. I mean, I don't even know there needs to be discussion on that. I mean, it's like we'll see where it goes. I mean, it's funny how much, for want of another term, BS floats around right during the offseason and how things, but if you get this guy, you're going to be perfect. Or if you keep this guy, everything's going to be rosy. And then, 2 plays into it, Aaron Rodgers tears his Achilles tendon, right?
Yeah.
And you know what I'm talking about with the New York Jets a couple of years ago. And you're just going, yeah, you don't know, man, till December how things are really stacking up for you.
It changes a lot. All right, a couple things for Ohio State I want to wrap up when we get to, including a big signing on the defensive side of things, and how I think linebacker is like a sneaky. We talk about the receivers so much with Ohio State and some of the other positions, but some linebackers that they put out, including another big one coming, and Jeremiah Smith. There's a rumor about him in the NCAA football game that's coming up. We'll talk about all of it here. Fan Sports Saturday. Stay with us.
We know everything about you. We know you love the Buckeyes. We know you love the Jackets. We know you're wearing a red shirt. I just freaked the hell out of someone. The Fan.
My house has a new glow. I love my windows. Universal Windows Direct.
Right now, get 50% off your windows. That's half off, plus no interest, no payments for 12 months, and a free entry door with your window purchase. Restrictions apply. Call 614-502-5220. Like me, you'll be saying, I love my windows.
I love my windows. They've got that brand new home effect. Universal Windows Direct.
Hi, this is Bob Masheter from Dick Masheter Ford. Thank you to all of Central Ohio as we head towards 60 years of doing business in the Buckeye State. Dad opened up in 1967 simply trying to offer a better way to buy a car, and we've been working ever since to serve our neighbors. We have served you through wars, recessions, and even a Chinese virus. Here is to serving you and your kids and your grandkids for the next 60 years, except on Sundays when we're closed, because it's the right thing to do. Still 24/7 at MasheterFord.net. Thanks.
There's a new way to surround yourself with savings at Giant Eagle and Market District. Shop Giant Eagle's uncompromising quality at a reliable price with everyday savings. Look for signs throughout the store to find bargains on produce, meat, and more. Visit Giant Eagle to see how easy it is to save.
Hey, it's Anthony for my friends at Germain Honda of Dublin. Summer savings, Rich is backing it up. He has rates as low as 0% and leases starting from $249 a month. How about a 25 Honda HR-V LX CVT two-wheel drive? Lease it for only $259 a month. 36 months, 30,000 miles with only $30.39 down. And all trades deserve a sweetener. He's giving you an extra $1,000 for yours. See them for all the details. Germain Honda of Dublin, Sawmill Road, just south of 270.
healthy body needs good food. This summer, the Ohio Department of Education and Workforce is sponsoring Sun Meals, a summer food program where kids eat free. Children under 18 receive healthy meals and no sign-up is required. Locations may be right in your neighborhood. Call 1-866-348-6479 or visit education.ohio.gov/kidseat for meal locations and times. That's education.ohio.gov/kidseat.
Better squeeze that lucky rabbit's foot, check your horoscope, and shake that lucky 8-ball. Ohio Lottery's next Powerball drawing is tonight. Powerball jackpots are growing faster than ever. So what are you waiting for? Get your Powerball tickets today.
Check it.
And remember, Keno Double Booster is back every Monday in June. For all Keno tickets with Booster purchased between 3 and 5 o'clock, the booster will be doubled. Your winnings could be boosted by as much as 20 times. Don't miss out. Play today. Lottery players are subject to commission laws and regulations. Play responsibly.
I think I just wrote the song of the summer. Listen. That's just you drinking a big gulp from Speedway. And just 89 cents for any size with Speedy Rewards? That's a hit. The convenience stores of Speedway. Valid through 6/24/25. See app for full terms.
This promo is for anyone who likes baseball or America or Terry Francona's scooter. The Reds are on the Fan. Catch all 162 games here on the Fan and 1460 ESPN Columbus and the Fan's HD2. Your home for Reds baseball, the Fan.
Road trip! This summer at Tire Discounters, your tires are your passport to savings because you're driving to Paris,
Texas,
then it's off to Rome,
Georgia,
and you'll be kissing the Blarney Stone in Dublin,
Ohio.
Right now, save up to $434 when you buy 4 tires, and that includes a free alignment and oil change. Stop at Tire Discounters before you see the world.
Hey, it's Anthony for Orthopedic One. I'm not invincible anymore. I never was, but I refuse to punt on things I still love to do. That's why over the past several years, when I've had things creep up, like back pain, shoulder issue, elbow problem, I've had it all, I've always chosen Orthopedic One. That's because Orthopedic One is Ohio's largest physician-owned orthopedic practice with 60 physicians in every specialty. Find a physician or location near you at orthopedic1.com. Orthopedic One. This is where you go to get better.
We can come the day you call us.
We're 1-800-GOT-JUNK.
We make junk disappear. All you have to do is point.
Brian, I've been meaning to ask you something.
Okay, ask away.
Sometimes when we're talking, I hear a little sparkling sound.
Is it when one of us says, all you have to do is point?
There it is. Did you hear that?
That's the sound of magic happening.
Magic? Like we can come the day you call us? Wow.
Call 1-800-GOT-JUNK or visit 1-800-GOT-JUNK.com.
Hi, I'm Bob Capace from Worthington Jewelers.
And I'm his very overpaid celebrity endorser, Common Man. Bob, I heard somewhere, actually from you many, many times, that Worthington Jewelers is where Columbus gets engaged.
It's too bad you and Timmy can't engage the audience.
Good zing, Bob.
If you're thinking of popping the question, there's only one place to go.
Worthington Jewelers on High Street in Worthington, worthingtonjewelers.com. Tell them Common Man sent you.
The Fan Guest Hotline is sponsored by Weston Air Heating and Cooling and Bryant, doing whatever it takes to keep you and your home comfortable. The Fan.
During weekend programming, pants are optional.
Look at my butt!
However, leather chairs may have been a bad choice. You're listening to Fan Sports Saturday.
Few Ohio State things to get to and all good news, including a big recruit on that pipeline from Cleveland right on down to Columbus. We'll get to that in a second. It's Fan Sports Saturday right here on The Fan. I'm Matt Fontana. He, of course, is Tim May. And this one, I don't want to say a formality because I want to give Sincere Johnson the props that he deserves and the excitement for him.
Agreed.
That he officially committed to Ohio State on Thursday. It was probably always going to go that way. He got his offer back in the fall. Of course, he's coming right down from Glenville, where so many great Buckeyes have been before. He's a 4-star linebacker, but edge possibility. He's already 6'3", 225 pounds, composite ranking of the number 8 edge for the class of 2026 next year. So, again, it's like one of those things, Tim, where I want to give him all the credit and all the flowers and congratulate him because a lot of people have surprises when they make announcements, and he did his due diligence and took other visits and all that. But it sounded like he was always going to be a Buckeye. So I just want to give him some props today and say welcome.
You know he's going to be a ball player, man. The Glenville pipeline is alive and well. And, it's just it's kind of cool because there's something to be said. I remember Ted Ginn Sr. talking about this a long time ago. There's something to be said, man, for going to your in-state school. Not that you push guys one way or the other, but, boy, if you go to your in-state school and you end up being anything halfway decent as a football player, you're kind of set for life. And this is before NIL came along, but you're set for life in terms of how people treat you around the state, especially in the Columbus area. So many of these guys stay in the Columbus area in some form or fashion after their playing days are done. It's quite the fraternity. But this guy, Sincere, is a great name for what this guy brings to the pro because he is a sincere edge rusher. Just watch the video.
It is, and he's going to bring that electricity next year. And I thought so much about kind of that edge rusher position, even the linebacker, off-ball linebacker, if you will, and just how important that's been over the years of this turnover, for now certainly with James Laurinaitis being there. And, Tim, they just turn out products. They just turn out really good players, not even just here, but certainly onto that next level in the NFL.
James,
and I know that, I know it's like NFL, even just around the nation, everybody talks receivers, everybody talks about the skill, but some of the Ohio State defenders, specifically edge rusher and linebacker, I mean, they've been really impressive over the last couple of years.
I'm telling people that what Ohio State has assembled now from a defensive standpoint, from a personnel standpoint, reminds me of Georgia back in the day. I mean, they just had these guys. It was like a continual, just a continual QUEUE of just stout, athletic, fast, strong defensive ends who scared you when you looked at them before they even did their thing. And that's Ohio State's assembling more players like that, by the day and stuff. They can still use that A-gap dude, that A-gap stuffer that I'm always talking about. That's the most difficult thing to find in football is a great A-gap stuffer attacker, more so than even a quarterback. But then past that, Ohio State has got a collection of dudes, man, especially on the edge or the defensive end realm right now. And it's going to be fun to watch them over the next couple of years. If, in fact, Matt Patricia's not a one and done, I would think, he has some kind of allegiance to Ryan Day in that regard. But Matt Patricia has a way of putting fellows like that in great position to make plays. Just check his track record with the New England Patriots. So it's going to be fun to watch over the next several years.
It is, and 4-star for Johnson. That's one of, I just did a quick count, 14 4-star recruits in the 2026 class for Ohio State. Of course, 2 5-star with Chris Henry Jr. and Blaine Bradford, the receiver and the safety there.
Yeah, and hey, one other quickie, Brock Boyd, the wide receiver from South Lake Carroll in Texas, I think he might be a 3.5 star, but I'm telling you, man, you watch his video, and he's playing, in my opinion, pound for pound, the toughest high school upper level, toughest high school football in the nation, and watch him doing his thing. So yeah, that's a guy that's coming in, next year and stuff. So yeah, they're putting a collection together.
And of course, a lot of those guys potential to grab that 5th star or go from a 3 to a 4, as their season goes on, which is really exciting. Well, this guy gets all the stars because it has been leaked out and reported that Jeremiah Smith will have the highest rating in the 2026 college football video game that's coming out. He will have a 98 overall, reportedly, which is the highest in the game. Tim, are you excited for the game? Are you a big gamer? Are you going to get on the NCAA? Are you going to get on the sticks there?
I'm excited for Jeremiah Smith. I'm excited for the fact that college football players, finally got to be on games again.
Yeah.
A couple of years ago after that long hiatus. Me, from a video game standpoint, I'm more of an auto racing aviation guy. I like the old video games, the original Madden games, when you just called a play and it ran. You didn't have to do your guy. My problem is I can call plays. I just can't do the guy. The A, B, whatever button you got to push to make him do his spin move.
You can be their offensive coordinator. I can see you just sitting there just running the OC for him.
I want to ask you this, though. I think Jeremiah Smith is one of those kind of players in a video game that probably whatever you do with him with the buttons and the little toggles doesn't come close to what he can actually do. You know what I mean? Some of them are probably enhanced, but with him, I'm just thinking the way this guy positions himself for a pass is getting between the defender and the thrown ball, for example, is uncanny. Like I've told people, it reminds me of Chris Carter in his heyday, and it's just funny. I'm not sure they even if they make the highest rated, I'm sure they do him just due in what he really can bring to it.
So they always, I'll give you a little insight on that. So like they do the same thing with Madden, where they'll give the rankings or the ratings, but then there's in-season adjustments, and they always like to make a big deal out of it. So I can like almost guarantee you that by October, he's going to be a 99, and they're going to send a big tweet out, and they're going to tell everybody, update your game because now Jeremiah Smith is a 99. Like they send it out on the Madden side when a player makes the 99 club, as they call it. And, yeah, he probably deserves to be that already, but I think just by making him a 98, they truly are just waiting for that little juice
in my hands
that they could send out.
Lost in all that is that Caleb Downs is the number 2 rated player in the game.
There you go.
I didn't see that. What's he at, Nate?
He is a 96.
Okay, so there you go. There you go. That's
a paltry 96. A paltry 96.
A paltry, yes. And again, I'm sure he'll be bumped up, and I can only imagine there's going to be a lot of people playing with the Buckeyes coming up this fall. Great stuff. Really appreciate everybody joining us, and shout out to everybody that was at the race this morning. We really enjoy it. Thank you guys so much for joining us. For Tim, for Nate, Matt, been listening to The Fan.
The radio couldn't contain us, so we've taken over YouTube. Catch Morning Juice weekday mornings at 6 by searching 971 The Fan. Do it.
The Columbus Zoo invites you to follow the footsteps and the tails of animals from around the world. Explore our newest region, North America Trek. So what are you waiting for? Get your tail to our trails only at your Columbus Zoo.
Get organized with great storage solutions from Menards. Our Masterforce gasketed storage totes are waterproof and built to handle extreme conditions. They're great for conveniently storing most garage and workshop items and built to handle the toughest jobs. Masterforce gasketed storage totes are the perfect choice for securing tools and accessories for any project. Also, check out our weekly flyer on Menards.com for all the great deals happening this week.
Save big money at Menards.
Lanny went to college and racked up huge debt.
A little bit over $100,000.
For a degree he couldn't use? Now what?
I had a friend that went to my computer career.
They even helped him get hired immediately after graduation.
One of the things I love about IT is that you can work from anywhere you want.
You could become an IT pro in just months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI with zero experience at mycomputercareer.edu.
It worked for me, and I know it can work for you.
This is one student's experience. Individual results vary.
With over 33 years in business, Newman Roofing believes white glove services shouldn't be a thing of the past. From the first call, you'll be greeted with friendly professionals to answer all your questions. Special financing options available now, so call Newman Roofing today at 614-NEW-ROOF or visit newmanroofing.com.
Do you suffer from leg pain, leg swelling, varicose veins, or leg ulcers? Dr. Barry Zeta and Dr. Joseph Senta at Ohio Vein and Vascular Polaris are pioneers in the vein and vascular field. Dr. Zeta and Dr. Senta can perform minimally invasive procedures that will get you back on track to a pain-free life. Stop living with leg pain and start the process to healthy living with a free healthy leg screening. Go to loveyourveins.com or call 614-426-VEIN. That's 614-426-VEIN or loveyourveins.com.
Working your way through that honey-do list? That means more flushes, more showers, more fiddling with the thermostat. Trust the pros at the Waterworks with your plumbing and drain cleanings and repairs and all your heating and cooling needs. Our certified pros can repair or replace your furnace or air conditioner. Clogs? Call the Waterworks. Drain cleaning? Call the Waterworks. Plumbing issues? Call the Waterworks. Furnace repairs? Call the Waterworks. The Waterworks. Trusted neighborhood plumbing, drain, heating, and cooling experts.
At Valvoline Instant Oil Change, we're here to help keep you on the road so you can soak up all the summer fun. The road tunes.
Take me out to the ball game.
Hotel pools. Emergency ice cream stops. The sunscreen and bug spray everywhere.
It's in my eyes.
At Valvoline Instant Oil Change, we're here for it all. So stop in for a quick oil change before you go. Only takes about 15 minutes.